What's up, guys? This is Keith with Southern Discomfort, bringing you a review of Battlefield 5. Know it's been a while. No, Ben and I haven't really been on this channel much, but just kind of felt like fucking putting out a video, so here I am. So first of all, initial impressions on the game. I guess not even game related, but one thing right off the bat that kind of pissed me off about this game was the release date. I fully thought that it was coming out on Thursday, last Thursday specifically, because every time I looked it up, it listed that as the release date, just like on the general, internet, whatever. It just fucking popped up. So I'm assuming this whole time that it's coming out Thursday. I call to see about, the midnight release and everything, and the guy tells me, oh no, it's not actually coming out Thursday. That's like the deluxe edition if you pre-ordered it. The game itself is coming out Tuesday. And that bummed me out. So anyway, but now that I finally have the fucking game, I've been playing it, and yeah, initial thoughts on the game. I've got a few things to talk about. So first of all, just get it out of the way. Visuals and graphics and soundboard. Obviously, all of it's awesome. I wouldn't expect anything less from a Battlefield game. They've always kind of prided themselves on having good war visuals, very good sounds. The dialogue is tight in gameplay, gunshots, explosions. It's all fucking there. So I really don't have anything negative to say about that. But for me personally, that's not like a huge perk because it's just kind of something I would expect from this kind of game, and really just games in general these days. I mean, really, if your sound sucks and the visuals are shitty, that's just kind of a death sentence for a game. I mean, you really all just have to pretty much be on par with this shit. So anyway, yeah, that's a plus, but it's not like giving it a ton of brownie points. Some other things I really like about this game, I mean, it's a lot of fun to fucking shoot. It's a lot of fun to just play this game, being in tanks or planes. I mean, all that's there. But let me just get into some of the negatives while I'm thinking about them. So they've made it very squad focused in this one. Like Rambo time is pretty much fucking over. You could kind of Rambo in some of the old Battlefields, like if medics had great guns in Battlefield 1, and you could just fucking heal yourself and tear through shit. And medics in this game, to me personally, fucking suck. The gun selections aren't there. You really don't have that opportunity anymore to just fucking tear off, just into a sprint of just killing everybody yourself. So you really got to like reel it in. I know I've been kind of having some difficulty telling myself that because to me, just because I did get pretty good with the medic class in the last game and having access to good weapons, it's really made me kind of reel in my pacing as far as when I charge into shit and the angles I take when approaching things and stuff like that. So that's one thing to just kind of keep in mind when you're getting this game. Another thing that I do like that they've done about it is you just saw in that last screen, some of the leveling up is different as far as like whenever you level up weapons now, you can unlock certain perks for them and better skins and things like that. I know I have a screen coming up here soon, and I'll talk about it whenever it shows up. But there's more customization as far as your character, like what you're wearing, what you look like, shit like that. So that's pretty cool. I like how they let you personalize things a little bit more in this game. But all in all, some other things that I'm not too big about in the new gameplay. First of all, the dying animation. I don't really like laying on the ground and just bleeding out. I kind of just want to fucking die. I don't want to hold R2 just to kill myself after I've been shot. Like in the last Battlefield, you just pulled out to the main screen, and if you happen to get revived, cool, you got hop back in. But this one, that's not even an option. You gotta sit there and just fucking bleed and wait to die and just watch your dickhead teammates not up you, and that's pretty much it. So I I don't really like that. I know in the beta the dying animation took a lot longer, so I do appreciate that they shortened it. But I just it's for me personally, it's not something that I care for. Um, and then as far as like how the gameplay's been working functionality wise, I haven't really had any issues with glitches in multiplayer mode so far, so that's a pretty big plus. But something to keep out for in the future. You never know when that shit might rear its ugly head. But let's get into like the game modes and like what's new with Battlefield 5. Um, right now, not too much. I'll be honest. I mean, there's just what you expect: Conquest, Team Deathmatch. They got rid of Rush, but they just replaced it with a game mode that's pretty much exactly like Rush. I'm pretty sure it's Frontlines or some shit. And the Tides of War thing, the one they've been hyping up as like, oh, this is the fucking day-to-day changes over time, like badass game that's coming new. It's gonna be great. It doesn't even come out until December. So that I thought that was kind of weird that they didn't have it ready at launch. There's also a fucking single player mission rather, that isn't available until launch. I also thought that was kind of weird. I don't know why they have so many things that aren't ready when the game comes out. Another fucking dumb thing was the practice range. The goddamn practice range mode isn't open until December. How fucking hard and in depth is practice range? Like I don't really understand that. And they didn't shit this game out. It's not like Call of Duty where they got to come out with a new one every year. I mean, Battlefield came out, a couple years ago. So it just seems weird that if they were taking this extra time anyway, I don't know why they wouldn't have just finished some shit. But here's like what I was talking about. Yeah, okay, I guess I did experience a few glitches. I wanted to show this. It tells me that I'll unlock a new gun, and then the gun is just exactly the fucking same as a gun I already have. I don't really get that. But as far as the appearance goes, it's pretty cool. Like you can unlock different helmets and shit when you do challenges, or if you get enough money, you can see my money in the top right screen, and then you can just buy like your look, and then you can see there my guns painted. I think you can tell, and that just comes with like getting more kills and shit like that. So that's pretty interesting. And then face paint obviously is pretty cool, that they added that. Kind of a little Call of Duty-ish, with the more customization of the character, which I think people were asking for. And then it's also kind of cool that you can change like your gender and your overall appearance of your person. So that's pretty neat. They do a better job, I feel like, of showing what you're progressing toward with your guy. As I kind of showed you right there, you can get in a little bit more of what you're building up to. One thing I noticed though is you don't have nearly as many gun options as you did in Battlefield 1. So I feel like that's kind of limiting, kind of goes back to the class thing I was talking about with Medic. And then also, this is pretty cool. I do like that you can add perks to your weapon now that can sort of, shift to your playing style of what you need to focus on more, whether it's accuracy or rate of fire or whatever the case may be. So I thought that was pretty cool. Um, but now let's get into the nitty gritty shit. The thing that I think is like the worst about this game. It's the fucking single player. I didn't like it. I'm sorry. Like I played through it. As I said, the last one isn't out yet for some dumb fuck reason. But the single players just weren't that great. The characters I've already forgotten about. It's glitchy as shit. Like here I'm trying to change weapons and it just would not fucking let me. It didn't make any goddamn sense. Here I'm like got a shotgun and the fucker looks like it got chopped in half or some shit. I'm just cradling two bullets like I'm cradling a ball sack or something. Like it didn't make any goddamn sense at all. And the worst thing I'd say about the single player is how fucking focused on stealth it is. Like they are just hyping up the stealth in single player, and it's bullshit. This game, Battlefield, is not built around stealth mechanics. So you're just bumbling around in the fucking dark, trying not to bump into people, just to get through the goddamn mission. The missions felt like a fucking grind to me. There are very few missions like I'd say one where you maybe had the most just like run and gun combat. The one with the Norwegian resistance fighter is basically all stealth. Under No Flag, which was the British one, it's so stealth heavy. And the game, like Assassin's Creed, is built around some stealth mechanics. So their multiplayer and their single player can incorporate stealth into it. Battlefield, at no point in the multiplayer are you really like sneaking around unless you're like a fucking sniper and you're just trying to get in a good position. Other than that, it's not focused on stealth. So I don't know why they just are drilling into your brain that you need to do stealth in the single player. And to me it just doesn't make sense that they would give this much of a shit. Like, I mean, what one thing you cannot do in a Battlefield multiplayer is really run and gun because there's just too many people, the map's too big, like you need to have your shit together. You know what I mean? And to so single player should be the opportunity we get to do that. Just run around and fucking shoot people because you're like, I just want to kill people. I just want to do it, and you fucking can't because so much of it is stealth based. So I was just grinding through the single player. I didn't really enjoy it that much. Um, and I think it kind of takes away from the game. I know games in general are kind of veering away from single player in general. Like Call of Duty just didn't even bother this last time. And to be honest, I think Battlefield should have just not bothered either. There wasn't really that many redeeming characteristics about it. To be honest, I wasn't too crazy about the Battlefield single player anyway, so I'm not just ragging on this game. But I just want to sum up everything I've been talking about. In general, I want to feel like this game is a step in the right direction for the Battlefield franchise. Um, but there's still some things holding it back from being like really good. I personally feel like they should have just not bothered with a single player, or if they were gonna bother with it, they should have made it better or should have made it focus more on the actual game mechanics rather than forcing stealth missions down your throat. Because I don't buy a fucking Battlefield game so I can creep around and shit. If I wanted to do that, I'd probably get Assassin's Creed or something. So I just think that's fucking dumb. And then some other things, just holding it back. There's really nothing new right now with the game modes. I mean, I could literally pop in Battlefield 1 right now and just get pretty much the exact same experience, which I don't feel like is something a new game should do. Obviously, it increase the experience or add to it in some way. And right now, Battlefield 5 to me, even with the new customizations, even with the weapon perks, at the end of the day, when you get in the game and you just start playing, it feels like too much of a reskin of Battlefield 1. There wasn't really any new in-game functionality that really like improved anything in my opinion. Like you start with an extra med pack as whatever class you are so you can self-heal once and then and then you bleed out and you have to sit there and watch yourself die. Those are really like the only big things I noticed. There's still squad, there's still conquest, there's still team deathmatch, there's still the four same classes with basically weapons that do essentially the same thing. They just redistributed who had access to them and who didn't. So I mean, to sum it all up, I think I had a lot more fun with Battlefield 1 right off the bat than I have with 5. Um, as the game currently stands, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's not a bad game per se because Battlefield 1 wasn't a bad game, and this feels just a lot like Battlefield 1 right now. But I'm hoping it can move its way up to maybe an 8 or a 9 out of 10 possibly with this new Tides of War game mode. I don't know if it's going to be enough to just fucking save this whole thing, but it did sound pretty cool. I kind of like how it seems like maybe the combat will feel like it matters more and it can kind of give you special things depending on if your team does well or not. So I mean, I am holding out for that. I realize the game isn't complete yet. which is kind of dumb still. I already bitched about that earlier. But anyway, um, that's all I have to say about it, guys. I hope it improves in the future, but we'll just wait and see. As always, this has been Keith with Southern Discomfort, and I'll see you fuckers later.